And we are live on WHO Universe. I'm just kidding. We are live on the Lonely TARDIS, your journey into Time Lords and space with the worst radio voice on the planet, myself. A wonderful trio of companions who arrive each week out of the TARDIS, emerge from the TARDIS, I should say, to try to figure out what the F is going on in the world of Doctor Who. And we're going to try that this week as we discuss the latest episode 5 of Doctor Who season 13. I am Dolly Domofsky. This guy right here is Marcus Annoyed Gamer Beer. And
Hello.
this guy right there is Sean Norton. I'm getting it. I know to look that way and to look down.
I still don't have it. I keep doing like,
yeah. How you guys doing? First and foremost, it was Turkey Day here in the U.S. The day that we broke away from Marcus's little island over there.
No, that when you you broke away technically on July the 4th.
True.
And you didn't leave on Thanksgiving.
Actually, what am I thinking? What?
No, it was like Thanksgiving hang on, we have an indigenous population to wait till they abuse and take advantage of. Isn't that
you know what?
I'm mad at myself because I just went with that. I was like, yeah, the Russians, the jerks.
Today, we were kind of joking before, but today's my birthday, and wow, that additional step in age hit me hard. I was thinking, why am I thinking Thanksgiving is? Oh God, Lord!
How old are you today?
My goodness, 43, my friends.
Shut up!
Yeah,
just shut up. In 2 days, I am 51.
That's nothing, man. You know what I'm telling you.
If you think you're going now, just wait till you get to your 50s. It's all downhill.
If I get we were talking before the show, if I get a cool ass beard with salt and pepper on there like you, then I'm all for it. Yeah, it's birthday week for us, which is great. Sagittarians rule. And sorry, Sean. We love you. We're just kidding. But we are going to talk.
Life. I don't care.
I just threw my pen and forget it. I don't care if I threw my pen because we're going to talk about episode 5, Survivors of the Flux. Maybe we'll survive this flux. I don't know if we will because let me give you. I've mastered the rundown for this episode. Okay, here we go. Here's a summary for this episode. Episode 5, Survivors of the Flux. The title screen rolls. I have no effing idea what's going on. Okay, let's dive right into it. That was it. That was a summary. Let's dive right into it. I've been chibnulled. A lot of stuff is happening in this episode. And Sean, you put it best in our messages, our DMs, when we thought that maybe we weren't going to be able to record today. But you basically said the same thing. I have no effing idea what's going on here.
I can tell you what's going on. What's going on is once upon a time when we were all younger and more naive, so 5 episodes ago, we said maybe a 6-episode arc would be good for Chibs and his writing style, and maybe having this condensed story would be better than having a full season run for him. Yeah. He knew what story he wanted to tell. He had his arc, beginning, middle, end. 6 episodes, 6 hours, boom. Then, like an episode or 2 ago, we were like, well, he's got a lot to wrap up here, but there's still things to like. And then last week, he went hard on the Division and Timeless Child and stuff. At the end of what an otherwise cracking episode. Now this week, he can't do it. He can't do it. There is no effing way that this guy can wrap up this show in a way that is going to be satisfying. And
I wouldn't trust him to wrap a Christmas present.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of starting to do that this week, instead he went balls out, adventure hopping, a minimal 3 different plots happening
At least 3.
2 of them pretty meaty. And then instead of like giving us anything, he just plot vomited all over us like he does with narration and lore and stuff, and bringing up more questions than answers, which you really shouldn't be doing in the penultimate episode of your 6-episode season.
Yeah.
And then when it looks like we're finally going to get something, he kills off a major character, and then the episode ends with all of these plots hanging there, underdeveloped, with no way. There is no way in an hour that we can wrap this stuff up in a way that's going to be satisfying. There's no way.
And I will just say, I think I said it last week, or I mentioned it last week, where I said, I think that this 6 episodes, I think we're actually not going to see the finale of this story until New Year's Day.
But he's supposed to wrap it up next week. It's like he's not getting extra time or extra credit for his friggin' late homework. I mean, it's supposed to be, and this is his words, and this is the BBC. This was from the get-go. Flux was an all-encompassing 6-episode story. The arc, the start, the middle, the end. If he hasn't finished it and they've had to turn it into one of the specials, then, I mean, look, it's just as well that he's finished and walked away, because I'd have fired his ass.
You'd have fired his ass 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, for that first season.
About 90 seconds into episode 4.
First of all, I'm throwing shit all over the place here. Sorry, I'm actually swearing. That's how disappointed I am. I would have. Okay, here are my thoughts on this sucker. There were 3 major plots and 1 sort of subplot with Vinder in there as well. These could have very easily been individual episodes, or separate episodes. The sort of adventuring, time hopping stuff that we saw with Yaz and I keep wanting to call him John, but it's Dan. Which I thought actually was kind of interesting as its own thing, away from the Doctor. Oh, that's kind of cool. But in the end, it was what they spent like 2, 3, 4 years hopping around, only to like go right back to the very area they were in before to find tunnels that we don't know what they do. And then, Unit has been Hydra'd this whole time. That's interesting.
I mean, I didn't like. He doesn't have the wherewithal to do a multi-headed, sort of like Hydra.
An actual Hydra.
He can only do one snake.
Yeah, it's one snake. He couldn't get the multi. Yeah. And then you had the Doctor, which was arguably the most important part. The whole reason behind the name Doctor Who Flux this season was this story that we're talking about the Doctor right now. And she's given like 7 or 8 minutes total of the episode. It felt like there was nothing there, and freaking a major character who is pivotal to Doctor Who, to all of Chibnall's storytelling, I should say.
To Chibnall's Who,
just gets offed like that for no reason. No reason.
I don't know, unless the dusting isn't. We're gonna find out it's not killing these people, and it's a spoilers for the show Loki.
I mean, if you're listening, yeah.
So unless we find out that they're dusting them to another universe or something and feeding off their energy, like, I don't know. They introduced what was essentially the Doctor's mother, adopted mother at least.
Adopted mother.
And then they fucking dusted her. They dusted her 8 minutes, as you were saying, of screen time later. It's just like, I don't get it. He's spending so much time doing what I have to assume is going to be the background or retcon or fleshed out lore of the Time Lords and everything else. And he spent years doing this. And then he just goes, poosh.
Yeah, just like his own build up. Just wipes
I don't
it
get
away.
it. I don't get it. He's clearly all in on the Timeless Child thing. He's clearly all in on the retcons and fleshing out the mysteries of the Time Lord origins and stuff. Like, I don't get it. Like, where is this going? And what is the point? It doesn't seem to have an impact on any of the characters or any of the plot.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't. It really doesn't.
I don't understand.
Marcus, a.k.a. Mr. Beer.
What?
Exactly. What?
It's episodes like this that make me glad I've got fucking cancer.
Jeez.
At least I've got something else to worry about. No, all right. I mean, where do you begin with this guy? I mean, look, we've tried to give him chances over and over. We've been optimistic, we've been abusive, we've been angry. I mean, he's not responding to any of our stimulus,
or our phone calls. Or
I think Yossi isn't watching the show anymore, and I think that's just wrong. Everybody knows that anyone who's associated with Doctor Who in an official capacity should watch this goddamn show on a weekly basis.
Our show.
Yeah, just this show.
Just
nothing else. They shouldn't watch anything else.
Nope.
Because let's face it, the only shows they seem to watch are the ones where it's like, oh my god, Doctor Who is just the greatest. Oh, every episode is fantastic. And we're certainly not one of those. Again, there's interesting stuff in here. These tunnels under Liverpool. Yep. I mean, what the hell is going on with these tunnels? I think it's really cool. If the tunnels were the initial way that they tackled this, the discovery of the tunnels, in my opinion, this is just, as somebody who has no script writing or storytelling experience, but I'd have said episode 1, the tunnels. You basically have the chap from Liverpool, you got Dan, and you got Yaz and the Doctor. Doctor lands with Yaz, they bump into Dan and go, oh, hello, Dan, let's go look for some tunnels. And he goes, oh, I know Liverpool, there's some tunnels down here. And down we go. And they go, it's like, oh, look, here's a tunnel. Where does this one lead to? And this one leads to this section of time. This one leads to that section of time. And then from there, you see all these threads. It's like, oh, hang on, this is a big confluence. This is kind of, oh, what's this nasty Nexus thing coming? This is Earth post Nexus. But instead, they've got the fucking dog, and they've got the Nexus, and they've got the Sontarans, and they've got these people. I mean, it's funny how this whole species. Yeah. There's a whole race of people out there, on another planet, in another part of the galaxy or our universe that has an Irish accent. I mean, that's worrying. Can we just talk about how terrifying that prospect is? It's so perky, so fucking perky. Yeah, we have that person who's pregnant, and then we have. It just seems to me that it's muddled. We saw, episode 1 was like, and then we saw some episodes that were like, okay. But as we have discussed, there are like 35,000 threads going on right now. And of course, some of the threads were very interesting. And it was some interesting stuff coming up to a certain point in the episode where it's like, until we got to, I'm your adopted mother. And it's like, oh, let's reintroduce the thread that is basically stringed turd, and that is the timeless child. And, oh, I found you at a wormhole. I mean, that's the equivalent of, oh, I found you walking around the rest area at the Grand Canyon. There was nobody else around who seemed to be interested in you, so I took you. I mean, okay, all right. Creepy vibe much? I'm so glad they took you. They went and you vanished into dust, because at the end of the day, this woman stole a kid, raised a kid, experimented on a kid, and therefore we have no idea, no sympathy for this woman whatsoever. So when she dies, it's like, assuming she dies, it's like, serves you right.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, so that'll teach you. And then not only that, we find that she's stolen a whole bunch. I mean, as soon as I saw that fob watch, it's like, oh God, here's all the other memories. And I don't know whether the next week is going to go one of two ways. That watch is going to be destroyed.
Yeah, no, that's the only way it's going to go.
Or it's going to be opened. And if it's going to be opened, then the specials with Jodie are going to be the Doctor going through all these different memories and reliving those adventures. Who knows? Maybe we start to get the regeneration, and the specials are literally past adventures that we didn't know Jodie had.
They could be the memories, the sheer power of, an infinite number of memories overcoming her, and then that's what causes her to go into the regeneration.
Yeah. On the plus side, we could also have, Chibnall has, whether it's inadvertently or advertently, given us an out with regards to totally retconning this whole section with regards to the division being between these two universes.
True.
And that we don't know that it could be that, as we've discussed before, this Jodie is not our Doctor and not from our universe, and the entire time it's not been our universe. So even though it looks like it, it's it's very much Miles Morales into the Spider-Verse, where it kind of looks like it, but it's not quite.
And so I think that's where this notion of multiverses, we talked about it maybe a couple years ago when we were first really watching the Timeless Children and everything around that. The idea that maybe there, like you said, Marcus, maybe there is this sort of multiversal Doctor, and this Doctor is not our quote unquote Doctor 13. It is a separate Doctor that's from some different universe that maybe has inherited our Doctor's memory somehow or something. Maybe that's what this locket will do as well. Actually, give her own memories. I think there are the idea that this could be retconned, and fixed, I guess, leads me to believe that this locket, this timepiece, is not going to be opened by Chibnall, but will be by Russell T Davies to help sort of wipe away anything that he sort of wants to do. This is going to be the albatross around the neck.
If Chibnall's already opened that particular can of worms, as in, it's all been committed and to film or to digital hard drive. If it's open, the cat is out of the bag next week, and then we'll see how
if it opens. Yeah.
This is why I think Russell T Davies is waiting. Is basically he's working his ass off right now, trying to sort of like just clean up the shitstorm.
Mm-hmm. Sean, you're awfully quiet.
He's scared. He's a young man. He's not used to this sort of abuse.
Yes.
He's practically.
He just wants. He's so glad the Centaurans are coming back again.
Yeah, that's the payoff I wanted to the tunnels and the.
Yeah.
And what? All right, hold on. I have a lot.
We know.
I'm all scattered. You got the
it's okay. It's okay. You're a young man.
Let it out.
You're not used to this. Just let your elders guide you and listen to you.
Not used to this. I've learned to just let you talk until you tire yourself out.
Until you tire out.
My mom used to do the same thing.
You guys haven't touched on the weird unit subplot. And the guy who was like a one-off.
The Grand Serpent.
The Grand Serpent who showed
like I said,
like
he was he had Hydra his way, and Marvel, thinking of Marvel yes. Hydra, where he's been at the core of unit since the beginning.
But how and why and like all of that to just suddenly he
and how does that relate to Vinder? Because he actually appeared in one of Vinder's flashbacks.
He was, I assumed, a far future, different galaxy, whatever alien who had all this tech and stuff at his disposal. I guess maybe there's a comment that the Flux is destroying all these different worlds, so people are going to attack Earth and try to take over and whatever. So maybe he's a survivor of the Flux, but why is he time hopping through Earth, and why unit? And
yeah,
I really liked the nod back to the Brigadier's beginnings, like in him happening off screen and stuff. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah,
but like, I don't get it. All of that to just engineer a Centauran invasion? Like, why? I don't understand. I just don't get it. It feels, everything is rushed and underdeveloped, and that's fine. But this one just feels out of place to me, and I can't really figure it out.
So, I don't know if it's just me, but his voice sounds like the same voice as Thrush or Rush or whatever his name is, the sparkly guy, the sparkly skull face guy.
They should, by the way, they should have made an ornament of Swarm, because that would have been great. He's already dressed like one. But no,
but I actually think that their voices sound similar, which makes me wonder if this guy evolves into Swarm, or again we're just grasping straws because we have way less,
So Craig Parkinson plays Prentice, or the Grand Serpent, and Sam Spruill is Swarm.
Okay,
2 different actors, but still, yeah.
I don't get the unit thing. I was really happy. Dolly, did you mark out when Kate showed up?
I was happy when Kate showed up. Yeah. I was very happy.
That's what Marcus and I knew was coming last week, and we didn't say anything.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yet. And I actually loved that she mentioned Osgood in the.
Yeah, I wonder if we got Osgood next week. Since there's
I hope so.
I assume Kate will.
Honestly, I'd like Chibnall just to stop fucking with the decent characters, because there's no guarantee he won't kill them.
Yeah, it's true.
I honestly, I really thought he was going to kill Kate off for a minute. I thought that he was just going to be like just. I mean, she walked around the streets like nothing was going on, and walked up to a ticking bomb at her front door. So it's like, I don't know. I'm glad he didn't. I hope
sorry, dude. Homie does not play that. You kill Kate Lethbridge Stewart, and that's it. We're issuing a fucking fatwa.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the Grand Serpent thing. All of it to just culminate with the Centaurans and like like we talked about, there was some really good stuff in there sprinkled throughout.
Yes,
and
correct.
There were things there that could have been pulled out and turned into their own episodes. Like a Doctorless episode with Yaz and our boy Jericho,
which would have been cool.
In 1901 to 1904, all of that just to go up the mountain to that cheeky seer, who I don't really know that really amounted to anything, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah,
But he was He was comedy. Didn't you see? It was whole comedy from the guy who's been really sort of like making sure every episode of Doctor Who over the last couple of seasons has had some sort of message. He falls into the trope of, it's the wise man sitting on the top of a mountain. And we turn up and guess what? He's hipping with it and he's asking for gossip and oh my God, all in his funny accent and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that was really freaking offensive. And if you're offending me, you know you got a problem.
Yeah. I wasn't. Yeah.
I think that's the best you can say is
You know what else annoys me is going back for years. We flirted on and off, like hypothesizing about whether or not there would be a multiverse and whether or not the Doctor would crack through, and whether or not they'd use that for any various plot things we talked about over the seasons, even before Chibnall. And now we have it, and of course now we have it. Right? It's trendy. Everybody's doing it. Marvel's doing it, and whatever. And God damn it, it's going to be burned on the timeless child. And I just, it's another example we talked about last week. There's some really cool ideas in here that I just really want to get on board with. And I just struggle so hard because I hit the wall that is the entire retconning of the Doctor's history. Drives me crazy. I don't like being this negative on the show every single week.
That's my job.
That's his job, and he's really good at it.
So we were optimistic through 4 episodes. Not honestly optimistic, but we were withholding judgment because we thought he had ample time to start pulling these threads together and wrapping them up and giving us answers. Because what Doctor Who fans need, what fans of good writing need our answers. We need answers to the questions. We need answers. Answers keep us going, not cliffhanger and more threads and not answering the questions. There was nothing I learned apart from Tectoon and the Division, but which really only came in like 30 seconds total in this episode. Nothing that I learned in this episode that I didn't know from the previous episode. In fact, the previous episode was much better executed with the Weeping Angels. By the way, that's one thing we didn't talk about. The Weeping Angels were created by Division.
Well, no, we don't know
what they were kind of saying, or
no.
Or
that
just
hasn't
used
been
by
confirmed.
division?
They're used by the division because she's like, how could you create, like, how do you recruit these sociopaths? What is your deal? And division, she's like, oh, we recruit from every species across all of time and space and reality and stuff like that. So that was not a confirmation that's how they were made.
I mean, either way, it was not well executed. And
I'd still like to know how you recruit a weeping angel into your army. Like,
you hold a mirror up to them and say, "Look at this."
And did you see how many there were? I mean, holy shit!
There's so many of them.
That was awesome.
They talk to each other. Yeah, great. Hey, I got this new gig lined up. If you're interested, other angel.
Was that
there's a weeping angel LinkedIn is how you do it.
Was that Jodie's voice? Were they using her voice in a warped angel way? Because I thought that was cool. If that's what
they were. I actually think they were.
Yeah, I thought that was neat. I gotta admit, I think we should go around and say change it up a little bit. Say one thing we liked about the episode each, and I will start because I already talked about the 1901 plot, and I will say that I thought Jodie did a great job actually being pissed and sad with all the division stuff that she learned about. And it bums me out that it's probably not going to go anywhere, but I thought she did a really good job, and I liked that a lot.
Marcus, do you want to go?
Go where?
Do you have anything nice about this episode, or anything that you liked about this episode? He's thinking. Well, I'm gonna say I also liked Jodie's. I really like Jodie's performance in that getting angry, getting upset, not being able to come to terms with with the answers that she needs. She's kind of like all of us as fans right now, because we just want to know what the F is going on. She wants to know what the F is going on. No one's telling us. And in fact, the second we're about to find out, it gets yanked away from us and we get pulled deeper and deeper. And I do kind of feel like Jodie, these last two episodes especially, she has been more of a reflection of the fans, because she was kind of fed up last episode. She wanted to know what the division was and what the angels are doing, much like us. And so we get pulled in this week, and it's the same thing. And so I am going to give her kudos on her performance for sure.
Still thinking.
He's still.
Well, since Dolly basically poached mine, I will say another thing I liked, and I have not said this very much about her, was Yaz's plot this week, and how she had to deal with the doctorless existence and basically being stranded for years, and how she became sort of like doctor-like, I guess, for Jericho and Dan. I thought was well done. Again, it didn't really lead anywhere, but the journey to get there, I thought was really cool.
She's done exactly what the likes of Sarah Jane did, and what Donna Noble did.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen this over the years that we've have some characters who, when the Doctor's not around, they go off and they carry on the fight. So I don't think there's any new ground there at all. So I don't think we should be applauding that, because at the end of the day, it's yet another reused trope from Chibi.
You're not wrong. There's only
I'm not wrong. I'm fucking
but there's only so many ways you can do that story in a 55-year time span.
Well, how about just not? I mean,
how about just not?
It's like, how about just not? Because we've had it happen 3 times in this regeneration, in this in 15 years, 3 times since 2005. I mean, if you count 4, if you count Rose from the coming back from the other dimension. I mean, there's just. I mean, the other thing, this is the bring is now in my mind. Is he going to retcon the Weeping Angels, because the Doctor's never been able to bring somebody back who has been zapped by the Weeping Angels? So, are we looking at Yaz and Dan? Are they? I mean, is Dan one and done? Which would suck.
That would suck,
because again, he's he seems to be he's been woefully underused. I mean, he had his one episode where he was back in Liverpool at the docks and he was off doing his thing. But it would suck if he was one and done. But both him and Yaz are done. They will not escape, because We've had this, with Matt Smith's Doctor, and when Karen Gillan was zapped back into time, Amy Pond and Rory, they were zapped back. The Doctor couldn't go back for them because they were a fixed point in time and their future had gone. So is he going to retcon this again? Is he going to find the Doctor's going to have a big red button, or because these are all division weeping angels, is there a big fucking red button somewhere there that allows the Doctor to say, oh, well, guess what? I am, I'm going off to, I can pull everybody back out of time. And then if the Doctor does that, wouldn't you think that the Doctor would go and get Amy and Rory? I mean,
so the Amy and Rory thing we're getting on a tangent here. The Amy and Rory thing bugged me for a long time because of exactly this. Apparently, I don't know if it was speculation or Moffat said it a couple of years later. It was a combination of things. Because the Doctor had read what was going to happen, that means it had to happen the way it happened, versus going back and trying to rescue anybody else from the angels, which I don't think we've ever seen the Doctor try to do. I could be wrong. But also, then there was some hand-wavy shit that, like, because of New York in that time period with all the temporal energy and all the time travel and stuff, if the Doctor did try to do that and messed with a fixed point, it would basically blow a hole in the Earth or the universe or whatever. So, Moffat hand-wavy stuff aside, I don't know if it's the same because I don't think we've ever seen the Doctor try it. We've always seen people zapped back and then finishing out in the old age. I don't think we've ever seen the Doctor try to go back and rescue somebody that we didn't know didn't just stay there and grow old and die as a fixed point in time. So
I mean, that's the other thing. The Doctor got zapped back. Didn't they get zapped back by the Weeping Angels?
So no, Quantum extracted, turned into an angel to be transported to in between universes, but not zapped back. No,
I mean in the Weeping in the first episode, Blink. The first time we saw the angels, wasn't the Doctor back in? That's why they were trapped without the TARDIS back in 1960, whatever. Yeah, and that's how they ended up doing these behind the scenes movies. And I don't know. I mean, the show's just gone.
And they got out of that with the TARDIS, so that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marcus. You brought us full circle in a little time loop there.
It worked.
I need to step away for a second. Talk amongst yourself.
Okay. Oh God, I chased him off.
Oh, scared him away.
I never win a debate with him about like Doctor Who facts.
This time.
And he just can't handle it. He's just like, fuck it, I'm out.
I think that's the point I'm at with this season of Doctor Who, in a way as well.
You've been at that point for like 2 seasons, though, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I've tried to be as positive. So my problem has been that I'm always optimistic. We were, but I'm always optimistic. I always wait, and we did a good job of saying we're going to wait to find out what happens at the end. And I, even under. There were a couple of middling episodes. There were good episodes with bad resolutions in this. Like last episode, I thought was a great episode, just kind of not a great resolution. It's I don't know how. Let me rephrase it. Chibnall could wrap up every thread next week. I mean, there is a way to narratively wrap up every thread, but there's not going to be the meaning and the weight behind it that properly fleshing them out, showing why they're important. Because the tunnels under the city, how is that integral to the idea of Flux? How is what Vinder and the Grand Serpent, how are they integral to the idea behind Flux? How is the Centaurans and how are we still back on Earth when Earth, seemingly was under impending doom and destruction in that very first episode? Now that's all wiped out. There's no weight to these plots and decisions, and that's what's been bugging me. And so when we get to this resolution, it's literally going to feel like we got to get an answer for this. Just explain it. We need an answer for this. Just explain it. But there's not going to be any emotional tie.
There's not going to be any emotional tie-in. There's everything, all the reveals are falling flat. There's nothing that really impacts or changes or causes our characters to grow. The Doctor's prior life, even my bias against it, but aside for a second, doesn't really matter. Like, they're asking us to believe that she was this different person or had these prior lives, yet still had the police box and still ran away and all this, and called it. Why the doctor? Why would you call yourself a doctor? That was a name you took when you were William Hartnell. So it's like, I don't know. I'm with you. I just don't see how it's going to be narratively satisfying.
I don't think it's going to be satisfying.
You didn't see the preview for next week, right?
No, because thankfully, so here's how I viewed it. You're going to laugh at this. For some reason, Xfinity recorded the entire episode, but would only play to the 30-minute mark, and then it would shut off the episode. And so it'd get the 30-minute mark of the recording, and then it would shut off. So I had to restart, and it would stop at the same exact location. So I had to watch it from the Xfinity on-demand portion, which means you can't fast forward. You can only rewind. And it was so late last night that I was watching this, and it was not holding my attention, which means it wasn't keeping me awake, which means I'd get to a point and realize that I had actually fallen asleep for about 15 minutes and have to rewind the episode back to where I remember.
God.
But I'd have to rewatch all of the advertisements again.
Yeah.
And so this 1 hour episode took me about 3 hours. It was horrible.
AMC Plus, if the episode dropped as soon as it started to air, and if you were subscribed to AMC Plus, I mean, look, but that's the thing. We cut the cable. Yeah. We don't have Xfinity or anything like that. We have YouTube TV for our regular TV. And it's actually now a toss-up if we'll ever even stick with that. But AMC Plus,
he's right. It was, and I got it through Amazon Prime for the month. It's
okay. There you go.
I watch it when it drops on Prime. And there's like commercial breaks. They're 30 seconds. Then the commercials are just Doctor Who commercials.
Yeah.
So
great. Anyways, that's why I didn't. It wasn't.
Well, all right. I won't say anything, but I will. Well, I won't say anything too spoilery. The preview indicates that not only is there everything that we know about that has to be tied up, but he's going to throw more stuff in. And I don't know if it's just like for a minute or what, but it's not just. It's going to be a challenge to see how he can do it. By the way, I like Vinder. Vinder's the guy with he's trying to find his wife, right?
Yeah.
Who, Marcus, I'm more and more convinced every day that your theory is right, by the way, about them and the baby.
No, I hope not. I hope not.
And I think we're going to get some time loop shit. But
I mean, let's face it, our eyes rolled hard enough when we found out that River Song was Amy's mom.
Yeah.
I would take that 1,000,000 times over where I think this is going. Tell you that.
Yeah.
Did you guys like that Vinder got put into Passenger or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
Where I assume hundreds of thousands. The second he walks in. I thought that was so stupid. It was funny. And that was one of those so bad it became good moments. Yeah. At least we got dog people again. I like the Lupari.
At least we got dog people. Well,
I like the Lupari.
We got some mood.
Yeah, we got some mood for a split second.
I mean, he's literally sticking his finger into every single character species that's being written.
Thank you. That reminds me, Marcus. I wanted to ask you about this. So we find out that the Division is basically Time Lord Black Ops, right? But didn't the Time Lords already have that with their version of the CIA? Isn't the Division just like another version of the Celestial Intervention Agency from the old show?
I don't know. Don't look at me. This shit's being rewritten as we speak. Time Lord Doctor Who canon. I mean, not only is it that ship has sailed, we don't know what's going on. There's no such thing as a fixed point in time because this twit is rewriting it on a geometric. It's like it's like that episode, at the end of time where it's like you see the Doctor with the Ood as something else is happening. As they're trying to get the Master alive again, and the cult of what's his face and everything else is happening. They're all happening at the same time, which make no freaking sense whatsoever. Not one of Russell T Davis's finest moments, but at least it was wrapped up in 2 episodes. But I mean, that's how Who chronology and canon is being rewritten and just destroyed right now. It's who knows? I mean, for a non-interventional species, the Time Lords were real douchebags.
Yes, they were.
Well, we knew that. Yeah, we knew they were douchebags, but we didn't think they were this level. I mean, there's douchebags, and then there's this level, I'd actually like to see a couple more good Time Lords because the Doctor can't be the only one.
Can't be the only one. Maybe the Master was a good Time Lord all along.
As long as somebody was worried that he was gonna bring Susan into this, and it's just like, no, please, she's avoided, like she's just not, she's like just below like famous enough as a character to be on his radar and everybody else's radar. But man, it's just like, I read a theory that Chibs is obsessed with fleshing out the lore of the Time Lords in a way
he's not exactly doing a good job.
No,
but like he wants to give them backstory and this whole origin and stuff that no one ever really bothered with past the Rassilon Omega levels, and it's just
fine. That should be in a different series. It should be, the division should be in a different series. So let me reiterate what I said last week. Watch Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I did. I watched it this weekend with Val.
Yes, ma'am.
And who's got tickets for Spider-Man?
Look at us. I'm guaranteeing.
Although by the time I woke up today, they were gone. Opening night and the next day were gone.
Let me just say, this was an advantage of a mediocre Doctor Who episode, because when I finally finished the episode, I opened my phone to see if anybody had mentioned anything about it, and all I saw was Spider-Man posts, and managed to realize like, oh crap, tickets went on sale, so I better buy tickets. So if it wasn't for this Doctor Who episode taking forever to watch, I would have never bought Spider-Man tickets on time.
I saw everybody tweeting about it last night, and I was like, we will never get tickets. I saw everybody complaining about the website freezing for all the different places, and so I was like, I'll see it sometime in after Christmas or in the new year probably. And then this morning, got up, did my stuff, potted around, and then Shauna says to me, "Oh, you want to watch Spider-Man, right?" So yeah. So 11:30 on the opening day sound good to you? And basically, she got it at our local IPIC, which is really small.
Nice.
20 seat theaters, pods. 2-seater pods per pod.
Perfect.
They bring you booze.
Yes.
So it's a grown-up theater basically, so that they let kids in, but it costs a fortune. Who wants to spend that on the kids? So I think we need to just switch to Plan B and start talking about things like Hawkeye and Invasion on Apple TV and Ghostbusters and everything like that. Because let's face it, this turd sandwich will be finished next week, one way or another, and we need to wash our collective mouths out.
Well, then that's a good idea. Maybe in a couple weeks' time here, we'll spend the Sunday after Doctor Who is done. After next week, in 2 weeks, we can talk about some of the other things we've been watching or hyped about.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do a 2021 recap.
Yeah, I like that idea.
In fantasy and sci-fi and comics, we can cover Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and hey, we'll have an extravaganza. We'll talk about the games we are playing.
Love
too.
it.
Let's do it.
Perfect.
Let's evolve it beyond the lonely TARDIS, because the TARDIS is heading.
Let's not be lonely anymore. Let's not be lonely anymore, gentlemen. I definitely wasn't lonely this evening chatting with you. Wonderful gents.
Happy birthday once again, my friend.
Happy birthday.
Happy upcoming birthday,
Marcus.
Yay, old people.
Yay. Yes, we are.
I'm going to play Forza 5.
I might actually play some Forza 5 myself, just to.
You guys should play Halo.
I
played Halo
friends on are we friends on the Xbox?
We may, maybe not. I'll shoot you a message with my info. We can.
I love that. This is how we're ending the show. This is amazing. I love
You can find me online. Oh, so close. So right there at Dolly Demoski. You can find this guy, Sean. He's down here. I got a point. There we go. Sean is down there. Marcus, as you can find him right there at Annoyed Gamer. Gentlemen, you can find us at Lonely TARDIS and lonelytardis.com. Do us a favor. Tell your friends, tell your family, the greatest gift you can give this holiday season is to subscribe to the Lonely TARDIS. In fact, unsubscribe and then resubscribe, because I think that helps us as well. So give the gift of a free subscription. We do this for free. The least you could do is have each and every single person in your bloodline, your neighbors, and your friends,
in your entire
everybody subscribe.
timeline.
Your entire
timeline.
Get some time travel going on here.
Come on. Jeez,
No,
we don't ask for much.
We love our hardcore watch viewers. They are so cool, and they come back to us with interesting stuff on Twitter every week.
Really
they are the reason we do this, and
great responses this week, by the way, from people. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go. Dali's got some birthday sex to go have,
or cake. Honestly, it's just cake.
Don't have sex with cake, mate.
Somehow both
never get it out.
We all saw American Pie.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. See you all in the next episode of The Lonely TARDIS. That's just a broken TARDIS.